Welcome to the Invite Health podcast, where our degreed healthcare professionals are excited to offer you the most important health and wellness information you need to make informed choices about your health. You can learn more about the products discussed in each of these episodes and all that Invite Health has to offer at www.invitehealth.com/podcast. First-time customers can use promo code podcast at checkout for an additional 15% off your first purchase. Let's get started.
Let's get science savvy when it comes to summertime skin health. We know that the skin is our largest organ. Oftentimes we don't think of it like that. When we think about organs, we think about the heart, we think about the liver, but we don't recognize the skin as being our largest organ. And you think about that, the human skin, that's constantly exposed to air, to UV radiation, especially in the summertime, which is why I wanted to focus on summertime skin health. So I am Amanda Williams, MD, MPH, and today I want to talk about the importance of taking care of your skin. I understand a lot of people want to get out there to the beach, maybe go to the pool. If you're doing that, make sure you're practicing your social distancing, but you have to make sure that you're also taking care of the health of your skin, because while everyone likes to have that nice summertime glow and let the heat of the sun hit your skin, you also don't want to be creating havoc for your skin. And we know that the skin can rapidly age. Our skin is known as photoaging. So I'm going to give you some tips as to how you can try to help to offset that and combat that. We know that during the summer months, we are obtaining vitamin D coming from the sun, which is always a good thing. Now, remember, if you're using sunscreen, that's going to block a lot of that vitamin D absorption. But we also have to be aware of the fact that we don't want to expose our skin to the harm of the sun's rays either. So you just have to be conscientious when it comes to the utilization of sunscreens. Now, we also know that when it comes to folic acid levels have a tendency to go down. Folic acid is very important when it comes to skin health, which is why I always encourage people to make sure at minimum you're taking a multivitamin on an everyday regular basis. Now let's get into the heart of skin health, and let's talk about how extrinsic skin damage actually develops. And this happens because of multiple different factors. We can look at UV radiation. We can look at physical stress that occurs within the skin. We can look at poor nutrition. Certainly we know that that plays a huge role, because if you're not getting the right foods that are packed and loaded with proper vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, then you're not doing the skin much health. Obviously, we know that when it comes to collagen, our collagen stores start to get depleted right around 25 years old. And that's not a good thing, because with every decade, we continuously lose collagen. So the more collagen you lose, the greater likelihood for the accelerated aging within the skin, which is why people start to notice more fine lines and wrinkles. Now, the sun will also create that damaging effect. So what is it that we can be doing? Well, we want to think about how we can help to protect the skin. The skin itself has its own endogenous protection, things such as vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, as well as melanin. So all these different antioxidants that the body naturally has, and if we're not replenishing those, then that becomes a problem. If you're not getting them from your foods, if you're not getting them from supplementation, then we have a greater likelihood of reactive oxygen species developing, which create significant damage to the skin itself. And we don't want that to occur. So when we look at the skin, we know that we have all of these protective antioxidants. It's like this whole little network. And we have these enzymatic antioxidants, including things such as superoxide dismutase and catalase and glutathione. But we also have our vitamins, including vitamin C. So vitamin E is very beneficial for the skin, but also we have to not forget the role of vitamin C. And it's funny because many times when we think about vitamin C, we think in the setting of immune system, which is great. We know that we need vitamin C when it comes to our immune system. But I don't want you to take for granted the role of vitamin C when it comes to maintaining the health of your skin. So when we look at the different layers of skin, we know that vitamin C plays an integral role to that. And so we're depleting collagen, we're depleting all of our endogenous antioxidants, including vitamin C, then we are more open to the harmful effects of the summer sun. So this is why we want to take all measures that we possibly can when it comes to stopping that photoaging process. And when it comes to things that can harm your skin, we know that there are many different things out there, including what you put onto your skin topically. Think about the harmful effects of utilization of unclean products, things that contain parabens and phthalates, all of these harmful chemicals that we know have incredibly damaging effects to the health of our skin. So we want to try to avoid those. And the more that we know about the harmful effects of these chemicals, the more you should want to avoid them. There was a study that came out of George Mason University where they were talking about the harmful effects of these different chemicals that are found in different beauty products. And in particular, they were looking at the overall reproductive implications that occur from repeat exposure of this. So what they did at George Mason University was a really interesting study, is they did urine samples from women between the ages of 18 and 44. And so they said, okay, we know these women are using different, personal care products when it comes to makeup, when it comes to lotions, all of these different things that they're using on an everyday continued basis. So let's look and see what the harmful long-term effects of these chemicals that are put into these everyday used products. So understanding these chemicals and the influences that these chemicals have on different hormone levels is very important when we think about public health. So right now we're dealing with a pandemic, which implicates a lot when it comes to public health, but we have to also look at environmental factors. So in this particular study, they took this group of women and they analyzed their urine samples. So they were looking for measurable amounts of these harmful chemicals. And much to their surprise, for some of the researchers, was that they found an extremely high level of these chemicals. And they said even low exposure. So even women who said, I wear makeup and I put on lotion and things like that, but not on a regular basis. They said that even low levels of the chemical exposure can have an effect on reproductive hormone levels. So this is really key because they were also looking at how certain chemicals in UV filters were also associated with reproductive hormones. So this is just one of those areas when it comes to skin health that there's a lot of different factors. I mean, you can look at the pollutants that are in the air. They did a really interesting study over at University of Dusseldorf over in Germany. And this was published in 2010 in the Journal of Investigative Dermatology, where they were actually looking at the rate of skin aging when it came to exposure to things like airborne particles. So when we're talking about exhaust coming from buses and from cars. So traffic related exposure is basically what they were looking at. And they did this based off of how close they live to the city center. So obviously in the city center, there was going to be a higher amount of these pollutants. And what was really crazy about this study that they did here at University of Dusseldorf was that they found that the closer you lived to the exposure to all of these environmental airborne pollutants and these particles that are floating in the air that you don't see, keep that in mind too, you don't see these, they had a significant association with the pigmentation when it came to the skin. So they found that those people who were living closest to the city center had more damaging, harmful skin aging effects. So we know all of these things. We know the damaging effects that happen from UV exposure, how that damages the cellular DNA. We know that oxidative stress damages cellular DNA. We know that all of these things will accelerate the aging process within the skin itself. So what can we be doing? Well, first and foremost, eat healthy. That's my number one tip to everyone when it comes to your overall health and wellness is eat a healthy diet. Now, what does that mean? a healthy diet doesn't mean, oh, I start my day off and I eat, a bowl full of berries and the rest of the day I just kind of, swipe away and say, yeah, I ate a healthy breakfast. No, you want to have this as part of your lifestyle, which is why I always encourage people to follow the Mediterranean style diet. When it comes to overall optimal health for your heart, for your brain, for your skin, for every aspect of our health, adhering to the Mediterranean diet is the best choice. Making sure that we are taking a daily multivitamin at minimum, just to help to allow the body to have that chance to cover those gaps that perhaps the diet is not providing. And then we want to think about what we can be doing topically. So we want to think about vitamin C and why vitamin C is so darn important when it comes to the health of our skin. So we talk about fine lines and wrinkles. We know that that has an impact because of loss of collagen. But we also know that collagen is reliant on vitamin C. So in the absence of adequate vitamin C, your collagen fibers are going to have a real hard time when it comes to properly cross-linking. So if you're taking collagen, you're taking collagen powder, but we're also not taking vitamin C, we're going to be struggling to achieve the goals. So vitamin C is an integral part of the skin health. When we look at sun-damaged skin, when we look at wrinkles, and we look at applying topical vitamin C, the research is incredibly impressive. So we know vitamin C is a water-soluble vitamin. We know it yields an awful lot of antioxidant benefit for us. We know its importance when it comes to the immune system, when it comes to the health of our eyes. So vitamin C is utilized throughout the entire body. But when it comes to topical application of vitamin C, this is where it's really very impressive, because we know that the vitamin C itself can really allow for that reversal of the photo-aging damage that can occur. So maybe, in your teenage years, you were out there, you were a sun lover, you were saying, I'm going to just put baby oil on. I don't care. I just want to have a nice tan. Well, that may not be the best choice. And you don't want to be paying the price for that as you get older, as your collagen stores are starting to go away and we're not eating a healthy diet and all of the stress that goes along with life. And perhaps you live in the city center and you're exposed to higher amounts of air pollutants and you're going, why in the world is my skin aging so fast? Well, those are some of the reasons. So what is it that we can be doing? Well, we can apply vitamin C topically. Now, why would we want to do this? Well, we can go back to Germany and we can look at what they found when they did research of utilizing a 3% vitamin C serum. So a 3% vitamin C serum and applying that directly to the skin and looking to see if there were any type of noticeable changes to the health of the skin. So how were they able to assess this? Well, what they did is they actually were looking at the density of what is known as the dermal papillae. So they were looking at the depth of wrinkles, basically. Let's break this down so it's easier to digest and to understand. So they were looking at the wrinkle depth and they said, okay, well, let's use this scanning microscope to be able to determine that. Now let's apply the vitamin C serum to the skin. And this is a 3%. The reason why I say 3% is because if you look at the Invite Healthline, we actually have a 10% vitamin C serum. Now, this study was showing improvement and changes in the skin with utilizing 3%. So ours is even stronger. So you can only imagine all of those wonderful benefits that can be brought upon because of the topical application of vitamin C. So there was another study that was done out at the Dermatology Associates of San Diego where they did this double-blind half-face study. And you may think, oh, what in the world is a half-face study? Well, they put vitamin C serum on one half of the face. And then they once again were able to assess the change in terms of the health of the skin. And this was done specifically for the photo damage that occurred because of overexposure to UV light from the sun. So in this, they did this double-blind placebo-controlled trial, and they had a 10% vitamin C serum So why is that important? Because that's what we utilize too, a 10% vitamin C serum. And they applied this and they were looking at the clinical evaluation when it came to wrinkling, when it came to the pigmentation, when it came to the microscopic inflammation, as well as hydration. So this is all of the things that they were assessing. And they found that in 12 weeks, they had this significant shift, this change. They were looking at type 1 collagen, one of the main collagens. Most of our collagen is of the type 1 variety. And they saw this statistically significant improvement when it comes to the health of the skin, when it came to the pigmentation, when it came to improvement on wrinkling. And they found through biopsies evidence of new collagen formation. So I told you about the importance of vitamin C and collagen, how the two are interconnected. If we do not have vitamin C, then our collagen is going to struggle. So I have to stress that. So we think, okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. Well, what else can we utilize in combination with vitamin C to maintain the health of our skin? Well, we can look at collagen. So utilizing a liquid-based marine collagen. Remember, collagen and vitamin C go hand in hand. And then we also utilize this really wonderful Italian fine wine blend. You may think, I'm going to slap wine on my face? Yes, because what do we know about wine? We know that wine is loaded with powerful antioxidants, hence resveratrol. So in this formulation, we actually have this fine wine blend, which is going to help once again to heighten the skin's ability to fend off oxidative stress. So we're combining things such as vitamin C, 10% vitamin C. We have this fine wine blend. We have aloe in this as well. So think about that. No chemicals, no parabens. We are utilizing things from nature to help to support the body's largest organ, which is constantly exposed to harmful things such as sun, such as pollutants in the air. And there are ways that you can maintain the health of your skin so you have that natural glow as you are getting older. So you don't succumb to all of those fine lines and wrinkles that then become over time even deeper lines and deeper wrinkles. So these are the things that I like people to know about, especially during the summer months, because when we talk about the damaging effects of the sun, we want to be able to maintain the health of our skin and not add insult to injury. So by applying a vitamin C serum to that sun-exposed area on the face in particular, because this is where a lot of that photo damage can occur, is within the face, within the neck. So applying this really powerful serum that is utilizing all things from nature is a really, really valuable tool for you to have as part of your summer arsenal. So I just wanted to make people aware of that, make you familiar with that, and also just give you a friendly little reminder to make sure that you continue to tune in to the Invite Health podcast. Remember, you can find all of our episodes for free wherever you listen to podcasts or by visiting invitehealth.com/podcast. Remember, you can subscribe. You can leave us a review. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Invite Health. And we will see you next time for another episode of the Invite Health Podcast.